Nonsense pisses me off. This is ridiculous. This is the person who wants to tell you that you're living in the greatest economy in the history of the United States. He doesn't even understand how the freaking economy works.
To very much do so to a very specific kind of people. Black, brown, low income, poor, etc.
Everything's racist. Taxes are racist. The trees are racist. The air's racist. The water's racist. I get worked up. How's a man trying to make it around here? How's a man trying to make it around here? That's a sound bite we don't need getting out. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. I'm back in the hat, that's right, and we are going to have some reaction videos today. I want to show you just how insane the world has become. Yeah, I don't think I have to explain it to you guys. There's a lot of morons out there. The asylums are empty and the patients are running the world. And oh boy, you don't have to look any further than America's college campuses. You've seen the videos, you've seen the clips, but I'm going to show you a couple of things maybe you haven't seen. We're going to get to that in just a little while, so I want you to stay tuned with me. You have to laugh at the insanity. It's sad to watch the world burn. It really is, and we don't want to be like Nero who fiddles while Rome burns, but I will tell you, you better have a little bit of sense of humor with what you're seeing around you, because I'm telling you, folks, what's going on in the craziness that you see on the mainstream media right now and happening on college campuses with the protests or whatever you want to call them. I said the other day on X, I said, we're not looking at protests. These are occupations. These are occupiers, that little toddler squatters on our college campuses, man. And it's a bad situation. And I don't care which side you fall on. If you're looking at something like that with a nod of approval, you're a moron too. So we're going to deal with some of the insanity. I may even try to inspire you a little bit, give you some motivation before we get out of here. But before we get into all of that stuff, I want to say thank you to our sponsors on the show. Thank you to our audience who pays attention to those sponsors. They really, really are vital to everything that we do. And I want to encourage you to visit them. I'm kind of sweaty today. We were out there shy. We were cleaning out the garage. Had a bunch of old inventory, T-shirts, hats, really cool stuff. And the guys who came in who were helping me move that stuff out this morning, they said, wow, this is some really cool merchandise. And I said, that's right. What's your size? I'll get you some. And I can get you some too at 30% off right now if you use promo code CHAD30 over at prathertees.com. That's the spot, man. We are rebuilding our merch and apparel website, and I'm excited about what's coming on later on down the line. But check it out. Check me out also down the road. I've only got one show in the month of May. One more show in the month of May. That's it. Only one. And it's with my good buddy, Zach Rushing. We're going to be in Beaumont, back at the Jefferson Theater. That sucker is going to be packed. You want to join big old pile of country folk down there having a good old laugh, man. Zach and I are going to be co-headlining that thing. And it's going to be a good time. We've been there before. Last time we were there, I think we had about 900 of our closest friends who were there. We'd love to see about 1,000 or 1,400 of you get tickets and come on. That is the 18th of May. Jefferson Theater, Beaumont. So make your plans, come down and party with us. And then we'll head into the summer, man, and the last half of this year is action-packed for me. I am going to be in cities all across this country. I took it easy. The first half of the year. I did. Second half of the year is going to be full of dates. So you want to be checking at watchchad.com. That's where all the fun stuff is. Check it out. Man, Shy, it's crazy. Shy, do you even pay attention to the craziness that's going on in the world? I mean, do you look at it, you see it? Yeah, he nods his head, yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to see it. But, you know, I'm kind of bombarded with it, right? And you have to see it. And then you have to kind of think through it critically. Like, what side do you fall on? Do you even fall on a side? Do you look at any of these things and say, well, I think the government will handle it? I was actually driving back the other day, had a long road trip coming back from a show. And I was just there alone collecting my thoughts. And I thought, you know, it's amazing to me that there's a vast majority of people in America who just listen to the mainstream media and just take it at face value. They just believe it. They don't think through whether or not it's true or not. They just trust that the media is telling them the truth. They're not. They don't understand the bias. They don't understand the lack of journalistic objectivity. They don't understand that there's a narrative or an agenda. We ran into some folks at dinner the other night, some folks who, on a personal level had some very strong words to say to us back when COVID was happening. People who had been longtime friends, or so we thought. I mean, we still consider them friends, but man, they had some pretty choice words for us back during COVID when they found out that we weren't going to mask up and we weren't going to abide by the big medical tyranny rules that they were passing down that were completely unfounded. We weren't going to shut our businesses down. They found out that we weren't interested in people's jabs into our arms with untested medical procedures. We weren't going to do all of that kind of stuff. And so they had a lot of choice words for us. And I thought, I have a new perspective for some of these people. Some of these people just didn't know. Like they've been taught to believe what the overseers say. Now, that doesn't make them lose accountability. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't hold them responsible for their lack of critical thinking. I think we should gently correct those to the degree that they will allow us to gently do it. Some people need to be hit in the head with a mallet. But at the same time, I think there are a lot of people, and maybe I'm just getting soft in my old age here, Shy, but I'm getting maybe a little more grace in realizing that there's a lot of people out there who have just been told their entire life to believe what those in authority over you tell you. Well, the problem, folks, is we have a lot of folks that are in positions of power and authority who are stupid. And they have an agenda that's bought and paid for. And they're so stupid that they're willing to allow money to determine the things that come out of their mouth and the positions they take. Now, you got to think through stuff like this. You want to know who's pulling not only the puppet strings, but also who's pulling the purse strings. Look behind them, follow the money, and you'll figure out what the agenda and the narrative is. Hey, guys, for 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been America's only Christian wireless service provider. When I say the only ones, they are the only ones, and I'm so proud of them as my friends and partners for this show. Patriot Mobile offers dependable nationwide coverage, and they're going to give you the ability to access all three major networks. So if you're used to a certain coverage, you can keep that same coverage, but you can also use Patriot Mobile and not fund all of these big companies that send a portion of your bill to leftist causes. So if you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're sending a message that you support free speech, religious freedom, the sanctity of life, the Second Amendment, our military, veterans, first responder heroes. 100% U.S.-based customer service team makes switching easy. They will even give you free activation when you use promo code CHAD. You can keep your phone. You can keep your number. You can upgrade. They'll help you do that, but they will find the best plan for your family and for your needs. Go to patriotmobile.com/Chad or call them 972-PATRIOT, 972-PATRIOT, or give them a call or check them out online, I should say, patriotmobile.com/Chad. Join me and make the switch today. For those of you out there who might happen upon this show and think, who is this fool in a cowboy hat trying to tell me how I should think critically? Well, if you're one of those who thinks that these governmental overseers have it all together and they know exactly how you should be running your life, I want you to see this little clip right here from Joe Biden's chief economic advisor, Jared Bernstein. This is the president of the United States' chief economic advisor. I want you to pay attention to this little minute-and-a-half clip right here and listen to what he says about America and its debt. Pay attention.
Like you said, they print the dollar. So why does the government even borrow?
Well, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do? They sell bonds. Yeah, they sell bonds, right? Because they sell bonds and people buy the bonds and lend them the money. Yeah. So a lot of times, at least to my ear with MMT, the language and the concepts can be kind of unnecessarily confusing, but there is no question that the government prints money and then it uses that money to yeah, I guess I can't really talk. I don't get it. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, because it's like the government clearly prints money. It does it all the time, and it clearly borrows. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this debt and deficit conversation. So I don't think there's anything confusing there.
Pardon me, Mr. Bernstein there. Now, what he's referring to is modern monetary theory. MMT. When you keep hearing him talk about MMT, he's talking about modern monetary theory. Now, modern monetary theory is the kind of thing that makes people like AOC say, well, we can revamp America at a $90 trillion infrastructure bill. You can't do that. That modern monetary theory is this idea, as Forbes magazine said in 2017 and again in 2020, that open borders will fuel the economy to $100 trillion in America. Modern monetary theory is the kind of thing that makes people like Congressman Jamal Bowman say that they can afford $14 trillion in reparations for blacks because they can spend their way into it. See, modern monetary theory believes you just keep printing the money, you keep creating deficits, you keep creating debts, and those things are good. And so here, the chief economic advisor to Joe Biden says, well, it's not confusing. Hey, wait, but I don't get it. It's confusing. And it doesn't even understand, okay, we print money. Yeah, we print money, and then we loan money, and then we sell bonds. And wait, is it bonds? We're not sure. Is it bonds? This guy's a fool. He's an idiot. This is the person who wants to tell you that you're living in the greatest economy in the history of the United States. He doesn't even understand how the freaking economy works. That's the guy who's advising the president. Advising the president, right? I mean, Joe Biden. I mean, we really trust Joe Biden's ability to balance a checkbook, I'm sure. But this is the guy who doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. Let me tell you something, folks. When you see something like this, Norbert Michael, VP and Director of the Cato Institute Center for Monetary and Financial Alternatives, he said, fortunately, the people in the administration and Congress do not actually run the economy. They only enact policies that affect people, and the people have a chance to elect new politicians every couple of years. But we're not doing it. These people, they don't control the economy. They just talk about the economy, and they make decisions based on policy that ultimately affect you. He said, first, both Jared, that's the guy, the moron that was talking, and the MMT, modern monetary theory crowd, are great reminders of why limited government is so important. Yeah, it's freaking important. Well, let's hear from Joe Biden himself. Joe is going to tell you about a new Walmart that's opening up. Now, I want you, this guy is a gaffe machine. Every time he opens his mouth, he says something stupid. Just the other day, he was giving a speech, and he said he was a professor at the University of Pennsylvania. No, quite literally, he was not at any time a professor of anything, especially not at the University of Pennsylvania. They gave him an office there, but he wasn't a professor there. I want you to listen to what he has to say about them opening this Walmart. Check it out.
By the way, Walmart just announced that they open a new store. And they just announced that they're going to charge for all the products they have the same exact price.
Wait a minute, Joe. What did you just say? Walmart's going to open up a store, and it's going to be the same prices as before the pandemic? And who was president, Joe? Before the pandemic, who was president? Donald Trump. So you're telling me that your inflationary prices on household goods that you buy at the box store like Walmart have gotten so high under your administration that now it's a special announcement that you have to make that a new Walmart store is going to open up and go back to Trump-era prices? That's a terrible campaign speech, Joe. This is why I buy all my stuff from Melaleuca, Shy. That's why I'm a member of Melaleuca. You can join my business team. I'm not even supposed to say that name. You can join my business team. I'll show you how to buy American-made products from American-loving people and the same stuff you're buying at Walmart. You don't have to listen to garbage like this from Joe. You don't have to listen. Guys, the economy is in shambles. You can't afford a house. You can't afford to put gas in the car. I went, where was I? I was in Galveston. I was coming out of Galveston, Texas the other day. Pulled into a gas station to get diesel fuel. Somehow that gas station had the audacity to be able to justify diesel fuel for $4.99 a gallon, $5 a gallon. You say, well, the president doesn't have anything to do with stuff like that. Well, there's a margin whereby those stores, have some wiggle room and some room to move. And yeah, that's a price gouge. I'll give you that. But if you tell me the president doesn't have anything to do with gas prices, he sure as shit is quick to take credit for it. Just listen to Karine Jean-Pierre whenever those gas prices come down. I mean, they talk about gas prices have come down 50 cents, 60 cents, 75 cents. They're still not touching when Trump was in office. Hey guys, the world may be going down in flames, but it's not going to get me down. It's not going to depress me. Nope, absolutely not. It may be a complete disaster out there with all these Bidenomics and all the crazy stuff happening in our world, but it's not going to ruin my day. You know why? Because I started my day with a really good dark cup of coffee, and it was delicious. It is an America First cup of coffee from Blackout Coffee. Man, I'm so proud to partner with these guys. Their coffee is 100% American, 0% grift. Blackout Coffee is 100% committed to conservative values. They source the beans, the roasting process, the customer support and shipping. Everything they do embodies the true American spirit, the hardworking values, and they accept no compromise on taste or quality. I'm telling you something. When you see this cup sitting on this table, it is filled with Blackout Coffee. I love it so much, and maybe drinking too much of it, we'll see, but it's delicious. Listen, I want you to support small businesses across the country that have the same values you do, and Blackout Coffee is one of those companies. So I want you to check them out and see what you think. Listen, not only they're American first, they're family owned. So I want you to go to blackoutcoffee.com/Chad, and right now, if you use promo code CHAD, I spell it Chad, you're going to get 20% off your first order. That's blackoutcoffee.com/Chad. Use promo code Chad. One more time, blackoutcoffee.com/Chad. Use that promo code Chad. These people are lying to you. That's why it is so adamant in my mind that you guys, we have to think critically, because there are people out there who aren't. They're believing this stuff. Oh, listen to Joe Biden. He's spouting off good news. Walmart's going to bring prices back down to back before we had a toilet paper shortage. Come on, man. I'm not kidding you, man. This is ridiculous. This is the same guy right here. I want you to take a look. You guys have seen this. I just want to show it to you real quick. Go over here to camera one. I just want to show you this. You remember this little clip right here? This right here? Everybody that's got a toddler knows what Joe Biden just did. The man just stopped and shit his pants. He literally just stopped and shit his pants. That's the squat and grunt toddler shit his pants look right there. The media's talking to Joe, and he's walking out there, and he stops, and he spreads his legs, and he just fills his diaper up right there. Oh, my Lord. There you go. But don't worry, Walmart's going to lower their prices. 31% of your annual income is going to go to paying your mortgage. Don't worry, but Walmart's going to lower their prices to back when Trump was in office, or at least one of them is. Now, there's no word yet as to whether or not out of the 26 checkout lines, they're going to have more than 2 people working. They'll have 57 self-checkouts down there, but they're not going to give you any discount. They're not going to pay you any wage for doing that. This is the stupid world we're living in, folks. The abjectly stupid world we're looking at. And I'll tell you another thing. As Jared Bernstein was talking about, the modern monetary theory about debts and how they're good. I don't know if you know this or not, but, we talk about American finance here on this show. They're a wonderful sponsor of our show. They're a longtime friend of ours. And, the cool thing about American finance is they pay their people a salary. So they're not trying to gouge you in any way. They're not working off of points or anything like that. But the cool thing is, if you own a home, they're helping you consolidate debts. So what's happening right now, you know what a duopoly is? A duopoly is when you have 2 parties that control everything. So like when you go into the grocery store, 26 weeks out of the year, Coke is on sale, and the other 26 weeks out of the year, they alternate, but the other 26 weeks, Pepsi is out of sale. They have a duopoly on the soda aisle at your grocery store. They get to determine who gets the bigger shelf space and who gets to put their stuff on sale. the RC colas and the, whatever Sam's brand pops and sodas, those were marginalized. Those things they're not part of Coke and Pepsi. That's a duopoly. Well, there's another duopoly in the credit card industry, Visa and MasterCard. Visa and MasterCard control 83% of all transactions that happen out there in our world. If you look in your pocket, there's a good chance you have a Visa or MasterCard in your pocket, in your wallet, in your purse, and that's what you use. Now, they're charging you 28, 30% interest rates on that. The American consumer is spending $8 billion a year in fees alone, interest and fees alone. Listen to me, American citizen. You are being gouged, and they control it all. That's why people like J.D. Vance and other senators are trying to push through the Credit Card Competition Act. You need to call your senator, whatever state you're in, leave a message and say, pass the Credit Card Competition Act, because listen to me, folks, you got to break this duopoly. Not to mention the fact that they offer IPOs to politicians, crooked politicians. How do you think these people are making these investments out there? I mean, really, you're going to get a 425% return on your investments? I would love to know what stockbroker they're talking to. How does Dan Crenshaw do that? How does Nancy Pelosi do that? How are these people getting so damn rich sitting in office? How is AOC making $174,000 a year on a congresswoman's salary worth $20 million? Please, someone explain it to me and stop saying it's a freaking book deal. Stop saying that. AOC couldn't write a coloring book, okay? So stop saying it's all this crap. 425% investment returns. No, they're getting tipped off by these credit card companies on these IPOs. Not to mention the fact that they're in bed with the Chinese Communist Party, and they're keeping a record of every one of your transactions, and they're keeping a record of anybody that buys something like a Bible or anything associated with MAGA or Trump. You go out there and make a purchase with some company that has MAGA on their website. Let's say you go to prathertees.com and you buy, an ultra MAGA t-shirt from me, or the MAGA King. And we made that because that's what Joe Biden called Donald Trump, MAGA King. Or you buy a shirt that says, pick a thing, unapologetic patriot, 1776 bitches, bring more ammo. Pick one of my shirts, any one of them. You know what? Those credit card companies are keeping a record of you, and they're basically classifying you for what type of person and purchaser you are. You make a gun purchase, they're keeping a record of that. You buy a scope, you buy a suppressor, you buy anything like that. They're keeping a record of stuff like that. But yet these people don't know how to handle the economy. These people, Joe shit his pants Biden doesn't know how to balance a checkbook. Jared Bernstein can't explain to you modern monetary theory. He can't explain to you how America prints money, how we deal with deficits and debts, and how we sell bonds, how we lend to other countries. They're sitting there asking him, okay, how can America not bankrupt? Right? America can't go bankrupt because we just print money. He goes, well, we do print money, but I can't explain it to you. It's confusing. It's not confusing, but it's confusing. The guy's brain sounds like a bowling alley, for crying out loud. I get worked up over this stuff, Scheider. I get worked up. How's a man trying to make it around here? How's a man trying to make it around here when everything's so racist? Everything keeping the man down. Scheider, just ask AOC. Speaking of AOC, when they came out with the Green New Deal and she was spouting that thing out of her ass, everybody was like, oh my God, that would never pass. $90 trillion infrastructure remodel. We're going to remodel America. We're going to tear everything down and rebuild it. Green solar energy. We're going to build electric trains that are going to go from California to Hawaii. Yeah, okay. AOC wants to talk to you about the roads in New York City. She wants to tell you how racist the roads are. Oh, dear sweet Lord Jesus, help me God. Everything's racist. Taxes are racist now. The trees are racist. The air's racist. The water's racist. The three little bears are racist. They're all racist. I look like I'm in Election Central with all this red, white, and blue behind me, Shy. And I'm probably racist because of it. The little guy, my little Will Rogers back here on his horse. He was a Democrat, but he's racist. He's racist. That horse I painted right there, it's a black horse. Racist. That horse is in blackface right there. I got a little Indian over here. I got another Remington model right here. You see that? So that's the horse coming down the hill with the Native American on its back. Racist! Hey guys, despite everything the Fed has been trying, we are still feeling the effects of inflation. You can't deny it. Fill up your car, go grocery shopping, your home repairs, every single thing out there. It's more expensive, and most of you are paying these bills with a credit card. Credit card debt's at an all-time high for Americans, and people are only able to make the minimum payment, and they feel like they're never going to get out of debt. Well, you're probably not. And if you're a homeowner, there is a way out. You need to call my friends at American Financing. They can put together a plan to pay off that high-interest credit card debt and create meaningful savings for you every month. They're saving people just like you an average of $854 a month and closing in as fast as 10 days. Listen, don't wait. Get yourself into a better position. Call their salary-based mortgage consultants today. That means they're not making money off of upselling you, folks. Listen, it costs nothing to see how much you can save. And if you start today, you could delay 2 mortgage payments, giving you greater savings right up front. American Financing can help you get that monkey off your back. Give them a call, 888-675-4090. That's 888-675-4090, or visit AmericanFinancing.net. Let me show you what AOC had to say. Pay attention to this 59-second diatribe of bullshit. Listen to this.
There is a psychic weight to living in communities that are designed to be disconnected. It affects your social life. My neighborhood that I'm from in the Bronx in Parkchester, we have some of the longest commutes in all of New York City. It is a commute not just to work. It is a commute to do anything. It is a commute to connect socially. It is a commute to connect spiritually. These decisions are designed to disconnect, disempower, and isolate people. And when you layer that with a lot of Robert Moses's racist intent, to very much do so to a very specific kind of people, Black, brown, low income, poor, etc., you can really see how it actually builds in organizing challenges to communities who actually want to empower themselves.
The roads in New York are racist. You have to commute. I love that phrase at the very beginning. What does she say? The psychic weight. The psychic weight of the community and the commute times. Like you want to belong. You want to. There's a psychic weight to the way things are built. There's a psychological burden that people are carrying because it affects them spiritually. It affects them in their community. It affects them socially and professionally. Why? Because they have to commute somewhere. And so these roads were designed to keep people isolated and away from community. Now, I don't know how many of you have spent time in the inner cities, but they all tend to be in a community. I mean, that's we talk about, what is the phrase I always tell you I hate, but we have to use it? The Black community. You go in there, they're all in there. They're all in there. They'll look at you. They'll give you the eyeball when you drive through. Why? Because you're in their community. They seem to guess what? They have churches there too. So that psychic weight that's keeping them from their spiritual community. They all got churches. Most Black folks I know wind up in church on Sunday morning. Amazing, huh? No, she's talking about, she said, even where my district is in the Bronx, there's a commute to get to New York City. That's nothing new, sister. Do you want everything to be in Greenwich Village? I mean, how entitled do you think you are, lady? You think, yeah, that's exactly right. Things are built separately from one another, and you have to commute to get somewhere. Believe it or not, I got to commute to get to the mall. I don't feel racially oppressed because of that. I mean, there's a bunch of ways you can get from the Bronx to downtown Manhattan. There's a bunch of ways you could take the train, you could take the subway, you could take a cab. I mean, everywhere's walking distance if you got the money and the time. I mean, everywhere you can make it. I mean, You know, it might take you a couple days to walk it. You can buy a hotel room on the way, get up, start walking again. That's why I say, got a little money, got a little time, you can walk it. You can get there. Forrest Gump made it all the way across the country and back 3-4 times. Hit the ocean, turned around and ran back. I'm being facetious, but this is so stupid. You know what there is a plethora of in these black and brown communities that she refers to? There's a lot of Planned Parenthoods. In fact, 85% of all Planned Parenthood facilities are within walking distance of a black community. I wonder why that is. Well, maybe it might be, up to the founder, Margaret Sanger, and what her wishes were for eugenics against black people that she called weeds that needed to be plucked, cast out of society. So maybe you blame Democrat policies, AOC. Maybe if you would blame some of those policies that you and your people are enacting that are actually keeping the black and brown community entrenched and underwater in terms of their dependence on governmental assistance. I mean, you sound like Pete Buttigieg that talks about the bridges are being racist because this just gets stupid. Everything's racist. And then you got this guy. I ran across this little podcast. This guy wants you to believe that this is the thing. This is what I mean when they just say something, everybody just nods in agreement. It's like, oh, yeah, This guy, these two gentlemen, they want you to believe, because this is what's important in our world, right, is historic revision. They want you to believe that a black man invented everything. I mean, black man invented everything. Okay, you say, why? History actually matters. And who did certain things in history, it actually does matter. And I understand that there have been certain people throughout history who have been marginalized and have been discredited in many things. But I want you just to listen to this, because I listened to it with my eyes rolling here. And I want you to pay attention to this clip. Go.
Even though we couldn't get a patent while we were enslaved, black people have over 50,000 patents. Mm-hmm. We created almost everything in the house. The modern refrigerator, the modern toilet, the modern doorknob was created by a foundational black American. Mm-hmm. The light bulb. When they try to say that a black person helped a white person, that means the black person did it himself.
That's a fact.
The light bulb, Lewis Latimer was the one who really came up with it. He was working for Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison was infamous for stealing people's stuff.
That's a fact.
Okay, you work for me, anything you build, I own it.
Yeah.
A light bulb, they say, well, Lewis Latimer created the filament. That's the light bulb.
That's what did. That's the light bulb.
That's the light bulb. Other than the filament, it's a piece of damn glass.
Well, yeah, everything else is just design.
Right. It's a piece of glass. So he created the light bulb.
Yeah.
But they have to give credit to Thomas Edison, and the reason why the rumor that Lewis Latimer was able to create the light bulb. Remember, we were an agrarian people. We worked with the earth. Whatever we had to do with the ground, we had to come up with ways to make it more convenient for us. Black people would use cotton seeds and light it up to warm their hands. Cotton seeds are very flammable. If you look at videos on YouTube, you'll see people lighting cotton seeds. The cotton will burn and the grass won't get touched. So Lewis Latimer must have understood and watched these seeds burn for a long time. And he said, wait, what if I put this in a glass?
Okay. Where do I start on this whole, where do you begin on a whole deal? Okay, I'm all for giving credit where credit is due. Black man invented the refrigerator. Black man invented the doorknob. Black man invented, okay. Then he said, Lewis Latimer didn't get credit for inventing the light bulb because he helped Thomas Edison, and Thomas Edison was renowned for stealing everybody's ideas. That's like saying that Elon Musk didn't build the actual electric Tesla car. He stole it from the people who were down there on his assembly line, who were, the scientists and the theorists and the researchers and the engineers and the architects and all of these people. They came up with these different ideas. He cast this vision. Here's what we're trying to create here. And they came up with these different ideas. Now, this long list of them, you're going to say, well, Earl Johnson down there in research and development really created the Tesla. It wasn't Elon Musk at all. We understand people had contributions that went into the project, but that doesn't mean Earl Johnson invented the Tesla. Okay? You understand? There's got to be a figurehead, a visionary, somebody who's at the top who says, okay, here's the goal we're trying to accomplish. Now let's put together the team of people. Now, I don't know exactly what Lewis Latimer's relationship was with Thomas Edison, but he's going to turn around and use this kind of logic and say, well, Lewis Latimer must have understood that the cottonseed burned like a very flammable because he said I guess he's talking about black people who were slaves. We understand about how to dig things out of the earth. We understand what the ground gives us, right? So we just dig stuff up out of the dirt, and he came up with this filament that went in the light bulb, and Thomas Edison just figured out how to put a glass bulb around the thing. Okay. Then these two guys sitting here in this podcast with wearing their gold chains and their $500 clothing, I'm gonna give you a little random bet and tell you that neither one of them have ever invented shit, okay? I mean, jack shit. They ain't never invented nothing. You hand them the ingredients to put together a light bulb right now, they wouldn't know where to begin. They wouldn't have a clue, but they're gonna sit back and wax eloquent and go, that's right, it was stolen. They're gonna do that and tell you, but they can't invent anything. I'll give you a good $500 bet that expert right there doesn't know how to change the oil in a pickup truck. But he's going to talk about what's been stolen from him by the man. All right, I've been to Africa. I've been all over Africa, spent extended times there. Let me tell you something interesting about Africa. With the exception of Egypt, there's no architectural artifacts there. There's no architectural things that make you go, wow. I mean, there's no leaning towers. There's no mosaics. There's no pyramids. I was just in Progreso, Yucatan, Mexico. They got pyramids down there. Amazing, beautiful, incredible. They got all these places, in South America that you can go and you can see, Europe, Russia, you can see all these great architectural feats. They're not in Africa, though. They're not there. I can show you the Great Wall of China. They're not in Africa, though. Tell me why. I mean, as far as I know, Africans have been on the planet just as long as Europeans and Asians and, South American Mayans and Aztecs have been on the planet, but I just trouble me to go find me one thing that this guy, now, he brought up the argument. I didn't bring up the argument. This ain't a fight I picked. He picked it. I'm just going to tell you, if suddenly the black man came to America and somewhere out of their slavery emerged as people who were producing all these American patents that basically created the refrigerator and the doorknob and the light bulb, tell me why in thousands of years, millennia of human history, nobody in Africa ever did that. See, that's critical thinking. Pisses people off to do that, though, but it ain't there. Google is right. The internet is there. Find me one of the wonders of the world in sub-Saharan Africa. Show me. You can't do it. So this whole revisionist history bullshit that says, okay, we're gonna talk about all the stuff that the slaves invented. Yeah, Cotton Mather, man, he came up with the the cotton, or whoever, Eli Whitney, I'm sorry, came up with the cotton gin. No, his slaves invented that. Okay, maybe they did. But I mean, you're going to sit there and tell me that post-slavery American blacks created all of this stuff, but in thousands of years they couldn't create anything in Africa. I'm trying to figure out, so what was the difference? What was the difference? Was it because they were moved into a society that was built by white men? Help me understand. You're the one who wants to make the argument. Help me understand. Oh, suddenly a society built by a white man made it possible for a black man to get 50,000 patents? You're welcome. How about that? Nonsense pisses me off. And you know what? This is what's coming out of America's universities and colleges. It's that type of stuff. It's that type of stuff right there. This woe is me victimization bullshit that makes you want to navel gaze to the point of manufacturing oppression. It's a bunch of garbage. You know, like I said, give credit where it's due. Give credit where it's due. I'll give credit to a person of any freaking color who accomplishes anything that's great, beautiful. That's the glory of the mosaic of humanity. It's not about skin color, for crying out loud. Have marginalized people been discredited and lost credit or never given credit? Yes, I'm not saying they haven't. But this idea that a couple of talking heads can sit up here and talk about what's been taken from them and therefore now we owe you something, Mr. Podcaster? Nobody owes you anything. Lewis Latimer, you couldn't hold his freaking jock strap. If he created the filament that goes in the damn light bulb, God bless him. I want to see you come anywhere close to his IQ and capacity of creating something that betters humanity. You know, no, let me show you what you guys are doing right now. Let me show you what you guys are doing. Ready? Ready? Let's take it to the streets here, folks. Look at this clip right here. Ooh, look at these brain trusts. Oh, look at this. Oh. Oh. Just walk it off. Walk it off. Yeah. Everybody's out there filming. Everybody's spinning around in their cars playing whatever, Grand Theft Auto, Fast and Furious, spinning their cars around. Homeboy's hanging out one leg down the side of the car. Bam, crushes his femur and just going to hobble off. In his spare time, he creates light bulbs. While they're out there wrecking their freaking, souped up Hondas. Out there, you broke your leg in front of the effing Whole Foods. The brain trust, I tell you. The brain trust, Shy. I'm sick of playing these games, man. Everything's racist, AOC says. Hey, those were some pretty good community connecting streets that everybody was ganged up around and spinning their cars out and crushing people. I mean, my God, that looked like that was a pretty connected community to me, AOC. Don't worry, Joe Biden's on the front lawn shitting his pants. And look at this. You want to let me show you what Democrat policies will do. Let me take you to Oakland. You ready? Look at this clip right here. Look at this. Oh, this ain't a third world country. That's Oakland, California. That's Oakland, California. Look at it. That's not Nigeria. That's not Ghana. Look at it. Yeah. Oakland, San Francisco, San Jose, the Bay Area used to be beautiful, man. It was absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful area. That's what Democratic policies do. That right there, that's what Democratic policies do. You don't believe me? Let me show you Los Angeles. This looks like a dystopian scene out of Escape from New York. This is Los Angeles, California. Look at this. It's LA. That's where some of the richest people in the world live. I can remember the last time I was down on Hollywood Boulevard. I was out there for the movie premiere of Unplanned. And I got up that morning. I got my Will Rogers back here, Someone gifted me this Remington statue a long time. This thing weighs about 15, 20 pounds. It's heavy. But it's Will Rogers Remington. Will Rogers is a hero of mine. His family has honored me with various things. I've read many, many books about him, a lot of quotes. So I was down on Hollywood Boulevard. I got up early in the morning, about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I walked down to the Walk of Fame. I wanted to find Will Rogers' star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I wanted to take a picture with it, okay? Dude, I'm walking down the street, heading down towards Hollywood Boulevard, and I wouldn't go. The crazy people were like zombie land, walking in the streets, yelling and screaming, speaking to spirits in the air. I don't know who they were talking to, but they were in their own little world. Los Angeles, you look up the hill, And there's mansions. They're in the shadow, right across the street from Mann's Chinese Theater, where all the movie premieres historically have been done. Right across the street, right there. I mean, people are walking down the street like zombie land in the shadow of mega mansions. That's LA I just showed you. That, my friend, it's a dystopian nightmare that's brought to you by nonsensical liberal progressive policies that believe in nonsense, that want to, and you know what? You got these eggheads in America that just want to nod their head, yeah, and get mad at you for doing your critical thinking and your due diligence and research. Listen, folks, it's bad out there. And where does it come from? Well, critical thinking isn't being taught on the college campuses. I mean, look at this. I posted this clip the other day on social media. I'm going to give you a couple more, and then I got to go. I mean, look at this screaming Mimi right here. Look at this girl. College campus. That's Ivy League college campus. A girl screaming. The mental institutions are empty. This is the product right here. That's the product of sending your kid to college, paying $100,000 a year so they can marginalize their brain, get brainwashed by an academic professor who has spent 30 years in an academic bubble pushing papers around and has never tested his weird-ass wild theories in the real world, believes that Marxism is the way to go, that God is dead, that there is no value system unless everybody is treated equal. And if you say the word marginalized group, screaming idiots like this person show up on campus and start yelling their brains out because they are demonstrating that America has a severe mental illness problem. And there's no solutions for it. That's mental illness, folks. No, like, she doesn't even know why she's screaming. She doesn't know what she's screaming about. It's like those two girls that got interviewed. What was it? Up in New York? They were at Columbia University. I think it was Columbia. Could have been NYU. I think it was Columbia. And they were like, why are you out here, this pro-Palestine thing? Why are you out here at this protest? They couldn't even tell you why they were there or what was going on or what the protest was about. The girl looks at her other empty-headed friend and says, what are we doing? I don't know. Let me tell you what they're doing. They got told that it'd be a cool little party to go down and protest, and these little nerds, the nerds in high school have now become the bullies in college, and they found each other. Apparently, they jumped on one of AOC's racist commutes and found one another and started their little commune and are tearing the place apart. In terms of, look at these college campuses, what they're doing. I mean, these college campuses, they look like what I showed you with Oakland and with Los Angeles a minute ago. I mean, they're destroying them. And most of these kids, I know most of them, a lot of them out there are paid agitators. You can trace the money back to George Soros or whoever, but they're not even college students there. They're just out there doing it. They're just doing their thing, doing what they do, getting ready for a summer of love, getting ready for something that 2020 has nothing on what you're about to see in 2024. This is just, they're doing this in preparation of what the response is going to be from the police, from the president, from the military. They're just looking to see what's going to happen. And so now what they'll do is there'll be some violence that's going to happen this summer to the point of heading into martial law. It could be a way that they don't even have a presidential election in November. So if I were you, I tell you what I would do. My critical thinking skills tells me to do my best to try to avoid places where crazy people might show up. Like, don't be hanging out in crowded areas if you don't have to. I might limit my time at the mall, you know what I'm saying? Because I got a feeling some violence is going to pop off in the days ahead. It's going to happen. You know why I know that? You know why? Because it's always happened. The pattern is the same. It's the same kind of stuff that happened prior to the protest, the mostly peaceful protest of 2020. And so now they're going to head into this summer. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get bad. 2020's got nothing on what's going to happen this summer. And it's all starting right here with these crazy-ass people on these college campuses because this is a test run. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong. But you got morons like this girl. You remember this girl? You saw her last week. Listen to what she had to say.
Why should the university be obligated to provide?
They took over the building.
People who've taken over a building.
Well, first of all, we're saying that they're obligated to provide food to students who pay for a meal plan here.
But you mentioned that there was a request that food and water be brought in, unless I misunderstood.
To allow it to be brought in. I mean, well, I guess it's ultimately a question of what kind of community and obligation Columbia feels it has to its students. Do you want students to die of dehydration and starvation or get severely ill, even if they disagree with you? If the answer is no, then you should allow basic, I mean, it's crazy to say because we're on an Ivy League campus, but this is like basic humanitarian aid we're asking for. Like, could people please have a glass of water?
But they did put themselves in that very deliberately, in that situation and in that position. So it seems like you're sort of saying, we want to be revolutionaries, we want to take over this building. Now would you please bring us food and water?
Nobody's asking them to bring anything. We're asking them to not violently stop us from bringing in basic humanitarian aid.
They're stopping the delivery of food?
We are looking for a commitment from them that they will not stop it
but
violently.
They haven't stopped it yet.
I don't know to what extent it has been attempted, but we're looking for a commitment.
Most of the time when people are trying to overthrow, when they want to have a little coup d'etat, they're not looking for somebody to provide snacks and drinks, okay? This isn't after the Little League game, darling. You took over a building there at the university, and now you're saying that you want the college to supply the students who are there who actually paid for a meal plan with food and drink. Oh, honey. No. She says, well, we don't want them to cause people to be dehydrated or to starve. Oh, no, you're wrong. That's exactly what I want you to do, you violent little shit. What I want you to do is you're destroying property. And part of me, you understand, I enjoy watching these leftists eat each other. I really don't, because I'm opposed to these colleges anyway. I'm opposed to the university system, the way it's run. All of them are run by Marxist, progressive, liberal, reread snots. And you know what? I kind of want their godless system to fall in on itself. I prophesied this on Sarah Gonzalez's show, those 6 years ago, when I said the university system in America is a house of cards that will fall in on itself. And now these people are eating them alive. I love to watch it. However, there's enough of me that wants human decency that says starve these little shits out. Don't let them get food and water. Let them understand how true revolutionaries live and survive. Let them, you know what? The dude on the podcast said that people are real good at just making stuff out of the dirt. Let them eat that. Maybe they'll come out with a cotton seed that they can make a brand new light bulb. Hard times produce the man. Let's see what happens, folks. But then she goes on to contradict herself and says, she said, so you're saying you want them to provide food and water? And she goes, no, I don't want them to provide anything. I just want to, well, she did say that she wanted them to, people with the meal plan. But then she said, this is where it gets funny. She says, I don't want them to provide anything. I just don't want them to violently stop us from bringing in food and water. And they said, has anybody done that? And she goes, no, we're just looking for a commitment. Nobody's done it. We're just looking for a commitment that it won't happen. You know what? Shit in one hand and wish in the other, darling, because you're not getting any commitment about anything. I would put you in there and build a wall around you and isolate you like the Chaz and Chop zone and say, you want to be a self-sufficient, screaming Mimi? Then you get out there and you whirl like a dervish, baby, and you burn those calories because ain't none coming in. You can live off the fat of the land, stupid, for about 2 more weeks. How about that? At the end of this show, I was going to talk about being more kind to people, Shy, but, I think I've shot my wad there. I'm not going to go into that because I'm here to starve them out. Oh. But I got to finish with this one. I've saved this one. This is my favorite clip. It's 2 minutes long. This is my favorite clip of last week. The president of the university shows up to hear a list of demands from these students. And by the way, I do have to make reference back to the girl that wanted the food and water, the little twink in the back with the crop top, the guy back there with his shamag around his neck. Oh, he's pro-Palestine. They throw his ass off a building. But let's come back to this clip right here. They're going to make demands. And I want you to watch how tough these little Che Guevara wannabes are. This is a group of people here, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. As they make their point, they start snapping. They start snapping. They snap their fingers. They're not clapping, because clapping can be triggering to little snowflakes like this. They start snapping, And I want you to watch specifically, they all are wearing these little shamogs. Like they're going to Afghanistan or something to live in the caves. And so they start their snapping. Triggering would send you to your safe space. But look at the guy in front that needs, at least a B-cup bra on. I love this clip. Just watch it. Listen closely.
Negotiate with us. And I understand that it is a policy. We are here and willing to accept consequences until you are willing to fold to our demands.
Fold to your demands.
Fold to your demands, but then you said negotiate.
This isn't ending until our demands are met.
Should we take down the tents?
No! Tents are a problem. I know that is in our policy. Hammocks are also in the policy, and that has been ignored for years on end and is used in our marketing campaign. It just feels unfair to me that we're using the policy now, but we haven't been using it to the hammocks for years on end.
Okay, and the hammocks don't stay up permanently either, right?
When it's nice out, hammocks are out pretty much 24/7, and I see our marketing and social media team very frequently using that for PR.
Thank you for noting it.
Is there anything that you have any questions about? Have we been unclear about our demands?
I also understand that there's some things that SUNY New Pulse doesn't do because they're not in our control.
Why can't you give it to
them? For example, we don't control the contract pieces the way you laid it out.
But it's our money. We are giving you this money, and so we are paying your bills. We are paying your paychecks. It is your responsibility, President Wheeler. It is your responsibility to figure it out. We the students have given you our demands. We have organized here together, and we are not leaving until you figure it out.
And I would say, what I would like to do is to be able to work with you to bring your concerns to the places where they can make an impact.
And you can come here and come back with what they say.
There's
a card with the demands on it. You can take it to your people up in Albany. You can come back here.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, and I also have to say that I would rather that this not escalate the way other campuses, because you all have done a phenomenal job.
That's up to you.
That is your responsibility.
That's your responsibility.
We're here peacefully as of right now. That escalation is not going to come from us. That escalation will come from the police. If you call the police on us, like this president of Columbia did, that is when escalation will happen. It's very simple. It's the ball is in your court. We have told you what we're doing. We have been very upfront. It's up to you.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love that clip. I hate those people. I love that clip. Shut the fuck up. This college president, God bless his beta soy weak ass self for trying to create a compromise with these idiots. I hear your concerns. I will escalate this. I'll run it up the chain. I'll see what they come back with. Hey, and she says, it's our money. It's our money. We pay your salary. It's our money. Wait, whose money is it? Whose money is it? Because what I've been hearing for all these years is that you want loan forgiveness. You want student loan forgiveness, which means it's not your money. You went in debt to pay $100,000 a year to go destroy your campus. It's not your money. It's student loan money that now you want the American taxpayer, people like me who graduated from college, debt-free, people like me who worked my ass through, debt-free. You want me to pay for your college. It's not your money. So listen, President Wheeler, whatever your name is, since I'm the one who is now paying your salary, tell him to fuck off. How about that? Don't take shit to Albany. Don't go anywhere. You take their demands and you tell them to shove them up their ass. And they said it's up to the police as to whether or not we're going to create violence out here. You saw that video. We're not going to show it again. Where they run into the police and just get slammed down while the others are going, retreat, retreat. Whip their asses. Teach them something their parents never did. Respect. That fat kid with tits, he doesn't have respect for himself. Don't respect his wishes. He doesn't have enough respect for himself to lose weight. Starve him out. My God, the kid could go a month without a meal. Smug piece of, I got words. It hurts to keep them in. President Wheeler of whatever university that was, I'm the one who pays your salary now. So run that up the chain of command. I'm the one who's in charge of student loan forgiveness. Me, American taxpayer. They don't pay you. They've never written a single check to your university, sir. So you don't have to be nice to them. You say, why does it matter to you what happens on college campuses? Well, let me tell you why it matters to me. Because really, I want to watch the whole system burn. But in the meantime, federal funds are being funneled into these stupid-ass universities that are houses for everything from foreign donations to foreign interests and things that threaten our way of life here in America. And these institutions protect all of that stuff. And we're sending federal money, which is, by the way, not federal money. It's your money that you gave to the IRS, and they turned it into federal money. And now they're doing it to appease these little shits out there who need their noses wiped and their asses beat. So scrap my little motivational kindness thing I was going to give you today. Scrap it. God, that was fun. It was fun, Shy. This is a fun episode. I'm going to do this more. God, please keep sending me putzes. I love putzes. People who say stupid things because I want to laugh at them. Something happens when this cowboy hat comes back on. Woo! All right, that's all I got for today. But visit our sponsors. Visit me, watchchad.com. Come find us in Beaumont. My God, book a flight. Come on down. Fill it up, Beaumont. You ain't never been to Beaumont. Come. You'll love it. You may never come back. But by God, we'll have fun. Me, you, Zach Rushing. Beaumont at the Jefferson Theater. That's going to be May 18th. Tons of stuff going on the rest of the year, man. WatchChad.com for all the fun stuff is. You know, these are jokes, folks. These are all jokes. I don't mean a single word I'm saying. Not a single word. Not a peep. I say that for the Google overlords out there. These are all jokes. It's Election Central. Look at all this red, white, and blue, baby. I hope it triggers you. I love you. God bless you. We'll see you next time. Bye.